Our ninth topic of the night is going to shift over to F1 racing, and Brandon brought up this topic during the week, and it's something we really want to talk about, and that's the Sainz and Leclerc partnership that's going to happen over at Ferrari. Sainz was with McLaren earlier, but now he's with Ferrari, and it's going to be sort of a, even though there's not a huge difference in age, it's going to be sort of a mentor-mentee thing going on with Ferrari that they hope will be very successful in F1, Brandon.
Yeah, I think it's an exciting pair. Obviously, I'm a huge F1 fan. I'm loving that we're talking about it on the show, and I'm looking forward to having more topics. If you're liking what we're talking about and you're liking this show, make sure you hit the like and make sure you hit the subscribe and make sure you give us a follow on our Twitter handles here at the bottom. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting team pairing with those two at Ferrari. I think in Maranello, Italy, they've been looking to get back to the top, and this is the teaming that they're looking to have it happen, the pairing that they're looking to make it happen with. I think people talk about Sainz coming in. He's got a little bit more experience in F1 than Leclerc, so they want him to come in and kind of mentor it. But I think it's going to be the flip. And honestly, Leclerc's been at Ferrari. He knows their protocols. He's been in the car a lot longer. I think he's really going to be the one that's going to be showing Sainz the way. He's the talented driver. He's the more talented driver. In F1, you have a driver 1 and a driver 2. Driver 2 is most definitely going to be Carlos Sainz this year. And it's kind of like one of those things when even in other professional sports, like the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to lean more towards Patrick Mahomes because he is that young superstar. It's the same thing in this situation with the Ferrari team in F1, where they're going to lean on Charles Leclerc a little bit more because he is their young superstar that they're looking to push forward to challenge the likes of a Max Verstappen and a Lewis Hamilton. And Ferrari's been one of those teams where obviously it's really one of the most historical teams on the grid. They're used to having success, so they really want to get back to the front. And they're hoping that these two together can be the two that will do it. I'm really excited to see it going forward. We won't get to see the real 2021 cars until February when winter testing starts. But today we got to see Sainz in his first time in a Ferrari with Sainz and Leclerc getting to test out the 2018 car and getting to do a few laps around Ferrari's test track. I think that's going to go big to Carlos Sainz, getting himself a little bit more acquainted with the team, with the car. All these cars handle differently. They all have different pros and cons. So I think this is a huge bonus for him being able to get, even though it's only the 2018 car, these cars won't differ that much over the years, especially because the big rule change doesn't come into 2022. So this 2021 car is only going to be slightly different from that 2018 car. So I think today it was exciting to see Carlos Sainz in red and to see him in the car, but I was a little bit more excited to see Charles Leclerc in the car yesterday.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting thing to follow throughout F1. This is nothing new for Sainz because back when he was with McLaren, he had Norris that he was sort of tandeming with over there. And it's so funny to talk about, in individual sports, even though there's a team with your car and pit stops and sort of things like that. But even it's technically an individual sport in F1 racing. But then you have guys that are sort of on the same team because they drive the same car, they're with the same racing team and things like that. So it's sort of a mesh of an individual sport and a team sport, which is very interesting. So, but this is nothing new for Sainz this year with the Ferrari team, and I think you're right. I think Leclerc is going to be the one that's going to be the top racer there. They were both top 10 in points last year, so it's not like you're merging a guy who's sort of trying to figure things out with a guy who's been successful. They've both been very successful, so I think it'll probably help them both to have this partnership with Ferrari and with each other through the F1 season. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. One thing I do like about this show, too, that we're doing right now is we're bringing out names of guys in F1 that people can follow throughout the F1 season. If you haven't checked out F1, the guys that we're talking about, we talked about Lewis Hamilton. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before. That guy's obviously the marquee name, but now you follow a couple of these guys and you sort of get familiar with the F1 racing drivers, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these guys over the next F1 season.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to dive into F1, I suggest looking at Netflix and going to the series Drive to Survive on Netflix. There's 2 seasons on there, and the 3rd season should be coming out. And obviously, it's a little behind because obviously they got to record it. So the season that's coming out next for this 3rd season will cover the 2019 season, and seasons 1 and 2 cover the 2018 and I believe the 2017 season. But if you're just new to F1, that would be a great way to dive in, familiarize yourself with some of the drivers. Some of the drivers have changed year to year, but a lot of them are still there, especially the main players like Lewis Hamilton, a Valtteri Bottas, Sebastian Vettel. And he's moving to a new team with Aston Martin, so that's going to be exciting this year. But yeah, I mean, with new guys and new teams, it's such an exciting sport. I'm really looking forward to the start of the season, and I've just been watching a lot of the videos on F1 on YouTube recently, just kind of getting myself excited again and amped up for the new season, which is going to be coming. I'm looking forward to the winter testing in February. But yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, an international sport with international stars, and I really suggest you guys taking a look at it.